Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This is a reading for Gemini, the month of October. Gemini, starting with the pipe, prayer and inner peace. So this is the beginning of connection and connection to yourself, connection to your spirit, to your spiritual guides also. And maybe I feel like you have been dealing with something that turns you into this connection, turns you towards this connection. With prison and short illness is also about timing. It's something that is transient, something that will appear in your life and disappear quite quickly. So I feel like there's a feeling, there's a specific sensation and feeling that is transient, but that made you feel more connected, or that you needed to connect more to spirit, or to whatever you call it, the God, the divine, or I don't know. And maybe this was uh, a an illness. It might have been an illness that made you feel like this, that made you go deep inside yourself, because you were restricted and your movements were restricted. You were confined to a space. You felt like you couldn't, like you had to deal with it. You were almost made to face this. But it could also be a specific situation that you feel like is restrictive. It can be a little bit of suffocating. But let's investigate a little bit more. I really feel like there's this connection to the divine here that can't be understated, and it's very strong, this need that came up because of something that happened in your life, some sort of challenge that made you restricted. I just can't overemphasize this. Like, maybe you went through something that maybe you had to resort to the hospital, or I feel like I'm in a place where I can't leave, and I have to face this adversity, and all I feel is like it's just me and God right now. Everything else disappeared. There's this prayer, it's also a peaceful state, because I am facing this. I am powerful because I am godlike, or I am connected to God. And it's like this sudden burst of power that comes from a very humble place and very small place, because the wren is one of the smallest birds, and it's the bird that that druids would relate to God, to spirit, but especially to God, like the supreme being. And I feel like it's out of a very harsh period of your life. There's an adversity, very strong adversity here. And you have the Nine of Swords that confirms this feeling of adversity. Nine of Swords is having a lot of like panic, worries, imaginary fears. Maybe some are justified, but I really feel like they were redeemed by this connection to the divine here, and that you found true wealth and abundance in this connection, so much so that you turned this adversity into an ecstatic experience. And a lot of wealth and abundance came from that. A lot of spiritual abundance, like hidden treasure, came from this experience. So I feel like this month you are using that experience, turning it into something that will help you face something different. So I feel like this experience comes up in a different package, let's say, but you are now not the page, but the queen. The queen of arrows is the swan. And as you know, like the ugly duckling story, he was not a duck, and that's why he was ugly as a duck, but he was a swan. So you become who you are meant to be. You fulfill your destiny, and you face this like, I wouldn't dare to say like a god, but it's like it's like you feel godlike. There's something here that is a profound, deep connection to God that makes you feel like entirely able to face any adversity that comes up. And then you have the Tower and the Journey, and the Journey is the equivalent to the Death card in this deck. And I really feel like you are like transforming into a super powered version of yourself because of some experience that you had that was life changing. It was ecstatic. I feel like there's this feverish connection to God. There's this ritual. It's like the dance. There's something liberating, but at the same time very, I wouldn't dare say mundane, but it's like down to earth or very humble in a way. So it's something that occurred. It was as if the special time, like the sacred time, just burst through regular time, like the world time, this middle, place where humans dwell and where gods are not interfering, but it's like they interfered. There was like this divine intervention. Okay, so it's like divine intervention. So I think that you are going to feel like there's a divine intervention this month. You are incredibly protected with the Six of Pentacles here and this whole center of the reading. It's very intense protection. And divine intervention. So, okay, let's see what the clarifiers bring. Let's see what this past experience was and why is it relevant in this happening, in this divine intervention. Okay, another thing that's coming up is that maybe you were getting involved with people who were wrong for you, and there's this divine intervention that kind of destroys. It's like this unrelated event that destroys that relationship, and you're like disappointed, but at the same time relieved because it wasn't meant. You're not supposed to be responsible for that relationship. Let's see. Eight of Cups, moving on from, an emotional, moving on from an emotion. But this relationship was a prison. It was something that was going to keep you stuck in a position that you weren't meant to be. And your prayers have been answered, so there's a divine intervention. Yeah, okay, now I get it. So you are leaving this situation because your prayers have been answered. The King of Cups. Someone made you feel again. Someone made you feel deeply again. And that created this ecstasy, this ecstatic experience. Temperance. This really is about relationships, I feel. Let's see what we have more. Divine intervention. Wow. This is a divine intervention from a spiritual guide. This is Sarasvati, but if it might be something else, something different. Sarasvati is a Hindu goddess of music and knowledge and intellect. So with the swan here, I feel like someone in the physical realm is going to represent this guide for you. And it's someone very intelligent, someone very smart, very knowledgeable. Someone with a very pure intention and a very pure heart and mind that is going to change everything. It's going to change the course of the river. It's going to change the course of your emotions, change the story completely. It's divine intervention. It's something that is really not of your volition. It's something else. The Five of Wands. I think this is really, truly for your protection, truly so that you are able to face a situation I think that you will collaborate with the person. Oh, no. Okay, so it can be this person. So through the collaboration with this person, you will learn how to collaborate with spirit, with how to collaborate with your guides, with this divine will, and integrating that experience, that physical embodied experience with divine will and wisdom. So by collaborating with this person, you will collaborate with spirit. But I think that collaborating with this person is also going to be a challenge, because you will have to tame your ego, and you will have to change some things that maybe you didn't realize you had to change, or that you weren't really considering changing. It will be a little bit of a challenge, but I don't think that any discomfort that is occurring will be transient. And just be aware of this as you go through the works, as you go through these movements, because it will, if you are mindful and you are aware that they will end, all things shall pass. It's easier to cope. It's easier to have strength to overcome and to fight if you need to, right? Even if it's with yourself, you might have to struggle a little bit with yourself also. There's also a really strong message here, right across the board, to place your spiritual priorities above all else. To prioritize your spiritual evolution and whatever is your spiritual path. This is a month where you need to prioritize ritual, if that is what you usually use in your life to connect to spirit, or prayer, or meditation. Any spiritual practice, even ecstatic rituals, everything that you can do to prioritize your spiritual development. This is the month for it. Because this is truly, I think this is a very spiritual reading overall. With the prison here, it's really leaving the prison. So it's a great reading for those of you who are already on this path. And I think that many of you are, with the Eight of Cups here, leaving this Nine of Swords behind, all this like panic, fears, everything that makes you too attached to your material reality, and having this humble understanding of God, practicing it in ecstatic experiences, in meditation, art, any connection that you can make. It's so rich. It's so much that has to come up to the surface. This is also something that's here. It's like, be aware that a lot has to come. There's a lot of information also with the High Priestess here and the Temperance, having that intelligence to understand so many patterns and so many, if you believe in past lives, like understanding past lives, understanding your patterns in this life, understanding your relationships, connecting to people, to new people, and allowing other people to intervene in your life in a way that you're not attached to them. You just embrace the wisdom and you leave out the ego. There's no ego. There's no place for the ego here with the Five of Wands and the Tower and the Justice. There's really no place. The best position you can be in this month, in this whole process, is as a witness, as consciousness, as much as you can, like, be aware of what is happening around you in a detached manner here with the Justice, the Varuna. I really, really can't stress this enough. This is the center of this reading. Is very, very spiritual. It is unity. It is number one. The pipe. Yeah, so maybe some of you are also using some sort of smoke or a ritual with ecstatic. There are a lot of rituals. I won't try to describe them all, but this is working out for you. I feel like whatever is bothering you is going to disappear very easily and quickly, because you're on the spiritual path, and it's very, very a beautiful path. Although it is painful to face these, prisons, the habits, the healing is something, sometimes healing is a little bit, icky. I have these disgust feelings right now, like I'm disgusted by maybe my own thoughts or my own feelings or other people's you know, like obsessions or something is bothering me, but at the same time i'm I'm able to distance myself so I can accept that and I can integrate that. Having this wider and broader mind while being very methodical and very precise and discerning about how to do things, the processes, the methods, the rituals, grounding yourself in those rituals, grounding yourself in the embodied experience, in your breath, in your movement, in your body, in any way, but at the same time really allowing for this divine experience to flood you, to flood your cells, to change you, to make the waters move. Beautiful reading. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed the reading, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like and share the video if it resonated with you, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye bye.